All right, welcome back to Linescapes, everybody.
Hi, how are you?
So, you are in the channel Linescapes, where we do videos about drawing and creativity, in case you haven't noticed.
My name is Sonia and this is Gasper.
Yeah, and I'm usually late, so this stream also started a bit late.
Because, of course, me, I would never be late, right?
Never.
Never.
Anyways, we're really glad that all of you are here. We really appreciate everyone that showed up, and today, as you know, we have the Creative Monday. So Creative Monday is the show where we push ourselves over our creative limits. We try out new things. We actually try things for ourselves that we haven't tried before, and we try them with you. And sometimes we succeed, sometimes we fail. Always we have fun.
That's very nicely said. Yeah, so are you excited for today's exercise, which includes color this time? So, Gasper, what kind of exercise are we going to try to do today?
Yeah, I will show a quick top-down, basically, of what we already did in preparation. So today we will try one image. We will take one image, one object, whatever you want, basically, and try out different color combinations. Because many times we are feeling very comfortable in the color combinations we use. You know, we kind of figure one out that we like, or two or three, or we tend to use the same one. So we said, okay, how about really pushing ourselves, trying out different color combinations, and maybe even discovering new ones that we might like.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that would be great because when it comes to color, I would like to feel comfortable as often as possible, but that means that usually the things that I do have always the same kind of color. So yeah, I mean that's not so fun, right? I mean we all wish more when it comes to color.
We all want more color.
We want more color in our lives, right? Yeah, but I'm excited for it. And if you can see this, then you notice that what we're doing here, these are thumbnails. We created those on one of our live streams before. So if you go to our playlist, you can find it for sure.
So thumbnail is a small sketch, like a thumbnail size sketch.
And thumbnail also means that it's not supposed to be precise. It's more of a very easygoing, very outline-ish type of sketch. If you look here, you have the tower, and then you have some rooftops, and then some vegetation, and that's basically it. At the end, when the surfaces are colored in, then you can decide if you would like to emphasize something or not. So that's basically a very fast sketch just to check things out. So if you would like to just figure out how the composition is sitting, or which elements are predominant, what would you like to emphasize as a landmark or something similar, then thumbnail is a great technique, and we added color here in this case. And I don't know, when you color this in, did you consider anything in particular?
No, I just went with the flow a bit. Today we're gonna put a bit more theory in it. And when I did this in preparation, I did this for. So I'm interested, which one do you like best? Number one, 1, 2, 3, or 4? Because it's kind of hard to decide for me also what, came out well or not, but I definitely enjoyed trying out those strong colors. Yeah, so today, as we said, we're not going to be as wild. We're going to use a bit of color theory. So you will also learn some color theory.
Yeah, amazing.
Okay, so what you need for today. You basically can do this with any kind of colors. So you can do either watercolors, you can use colored pencils, you can use markers, basically anything. Just good thing would be to have 6 colors in your color palette, maybe 7, 8, whatever you have laying around. So it's not so important what materials you're going to use. It's more important that you have a couple of colors at hand, and we'll be trying this out.
And preferably diverse, right? I know some of you are a lover of different tones of green or different tones of yellow, orange, and pink, but it gets very interesting if you add some adjacent colors or complementary tones and stuff like that. So I hope you have at least, I wrote in the description that you should have like 12 colors that you can mix together and try things out. So if you are so bold, that will pay out for sure. So I have here also a color wheel that I'm gonna use. We did this one in one of our previous live stream as well. And I'm gonna help myself when coloring by using this inner circle that you can turn around, because here I have written down all the color harmonies, and I'm gonna use watercolors, so you can also see that yeah, you have many variations and also color combinations when it comes to mixing colors. So basically in your watercolor palette you don't have just 12 tones or colors, you have much more, and this is something you can also see here. Okay, so I'm gonna try to help myself with this as well so that I know how the color look like. Yeah, and I'm using the watercolor palette from Van Gogh Pocket Box Muted Colors.
Okay, so everybody, get your stuff ready. For those of you who are watching live, I'm interested, where are you tuning in from today? Do we have some people who are here for the first time? Also, tell me what you will be using today, so we have a feeling what kind of materials, how fast can you be drawing along, either like colored pencils, watercolor markers, whatever. And yeah, give us a yes if you're ready to go, and we will start. And we will start by drawing a simple image. You can draw along with Sonia, or you can pick your own simple view image. It can also be a face, it can be an object, it can be an animal. The important thing is that you will be able to color in different parts a bit differently.
Okay. And yeah, of course, we always need 3 yeses.
Yeah.
3 yeses before we start. Otherwise, we're thinking that you're still running all over the place, collecting your materials, I don't know, going to the toilet, and then you're gonna miss a few minutes and we're gonna go back to the questions. Where are we? What are we doing right now? So yeah, we need 3 yeses before we start.
We got an II from Tina, so II might be as yes.
II? Is it like 2? Does it replace 2 yeses?
Oh, almost.
Almost.
1.5.
Yeah.
So before we just dive in, I will send out a heart, a big thank you to Marianne, who donated to us via Super Chat. So Marianne, thanks a lot for supporting us, and all of you, you can always support us via Super Chat, or you can support us via other things like liking this video, sharing it around, and just being creative.
Yeah.
Love to see that. Okay, so we have a couple of people joining in today. We have Marianne using watercolors, we have Pam with watercolors, Samantha will be using gouache, and Tina is still running around getting stuff together. She just dropped the triple no. And yeah, Elena using watercolor crayons. I think we can start.
Okay.
Yeah?
Let's do it.
All right.
Okay.
So we will go into the drawing process, and I will blend in the image that Sonia will be drawing today. As we said, you can gladly draw along, or you can do your own.
Okay, so what I'm gonna use for my reference, this beautiful architectural work by Hans Scharoun. This is Berlin Philharmonical Kammersaal. How would you translate that, Kasper? Do you maybe know?
Yeah, well, so it's the Philharmony?
Philharmonic, but I know that's not that's the Kammersaal. You have 2 buildings.
Chamber music. Chamber music, chamber.
Okay.
Not chamber.
Chamber of music. Chamber.
But the place where they play chamber music, everyone.
Okay, so I would suggest that we just start, and if you're into music, then you probably get
Hall.
what we just wanted to
Chamber
say.
music hall.
Chamber music hall. Oh,
Yeah.
so it sounds so easy. Okay, first, let's start. I'm gonna choose the horizontal format. And first of all, I'm gonna try to draw a few squares and start right away with a fine liner or a pen. If you're feeling a bit unsure, of course, you can always take a pencil first. But yeah, I mean, the live stream is long and we have surfaces to color in. I'm gonna go right in with a fine liner. And let's first draw 6 rectangulars. Let me see if everything is to be seen. And if you look at it, how big they are, put your hand beside it, and you're gonna see it's like it should fit into your palm.
Yeah, so they're not going to be that big actually. That's the idea of the thumbnail sketches.
Yeah, it's like, imagine you can put it in your pocket. It's a very small thing. And this will also limit you not drawing too big or going into too much details.
Now, limitations are always good when you're trying to push creativity, and because you usually have to think inside those limitations. And this is what actually sprouts then new creative ideas and solutions.
Okay, so do 6 of those. If you have problem with holding the shape or the straight line, you can also use the wobbly line. So imagine as you would drink too much coffee, or you wouldn't get any sleep for the last 2 days.
Then you do the wobbly line.
Or you're just very cold, which is much unlikely right now since it's so warm.
You know what the wobbly line does? This is actually quite a good point. It actually, by not trying to do your line straight, but kind of, undulating, wobbling it, squiggling, it actually makes the line, all in all, in general, more straight than if you would try to do a very straight line. This is a nice, neat little trick that you can remember.
Okay, so let's go back to those small sketches. And as you can notice, actually it's all about outline, and then you fill in the details. And that's the same thing that we're gonna do. So if you're using your own motif, you can also take as a motif your own local church. You can take a monument, you can take a tree that has a lot of context beside it.
You can also take something, an object or a couple of objects.
Yeah, you can also take that.
You can
a
take
composition of books.
Or a composition of your cats. If you have 3 cats, draw a composition of those 3 cats laying around on the floor, chilling.
Yeah.
If someone will do that, please, I have to know.
That would be very fun, actually. Okay, so as we did in our previous live streams, first we're gonna do the outline of this beautiful architecture, and then we're gonna add a few lines to fill the gap, and maybe we're gonna improvise for the background of it, so that it's gonna be that we're gonna get. We want to get 3 layers or 3 layers. We want to have like a foreground layer, then we want to have the middle layer, and then the background layer, and we're gonna try to color them accordingly. Or at least we want to have shapes that are where it's clear that they have clear forms, clear shapes, closed lines, and yeah. Okay, so I will start by positioning my architecture. I think this one will be very much in the middle, positioned in the middle, and I'm just gonna go for it. And
yeah, it doesn't matter how good it looks, because the coloring in is the idea. So you don't stress if you don't make it perfect or nice, or if the cat that you just drew doesn't look, just has one ear.
Jasper, you with the cats.
So if you're joining us live, and are here with us, then yeah, use the super chat, not the chat, use the chat, use the live chat to ask questions and anything that might pop up, and we'll gladly do our best to answer them. And if you're watching this on replay and have any other questions, yeah, we always answer questions, so you can gladly leave us a comment and tell us how the whole thing went for you, and if maybe there is someone out there who actually drew a composition of 3 cats.
Oh, I would appreciate that so much. That would be huge appreciation.
Yeah, it would be. So we only have 1 cat so far, because Suhar doesn't have a cat. Tina has only 1 cat, but will apparently be using a traditional countryside image from her region in Slovenia. And as far as I know, this is going to be a beautiful, beautiful image.
Yeah, I can imagine.
I can imagine, yeah. Some beautiful landscape from Slovenia. So, okay. Yeah, nice little thumbnail sketch. I like it.
I think I'm gonna try to redraw this. I think I like it from the composition. Yeah. It's centered, but still it has the horizon line.
No shading, because the color will come in, right?
Yeah.
Just the outline.
Like here, I can imagine, Gaspar, you started off with just the outline, lines. Yeah. And then you filled in the black that came in the end. Yeah. And we're gonna do the same thing here. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. So first comes the horizon line.
This is going to be interesting because you'll be faster and faster with drawing these small sketches. Because when you also the thing that you will draw now 6 times you will practice it pretty well. You know, you'll be able to draw it pretty well by the end, I think. So this image that you chose will probably imprint itself in your mind. So if it's the 3 cats, then you will be able to draw 3 cats in composition till the rest of your life.
Yeah, and then you know, these days a very, very often asked question is, what is your personal superpower? And then you can always say, well, you know, I can draw 3 cats.
in a like pyramid composition, or you know, 3 cats in golden ratio. This sounds like a title of a painting.
Okay. So number 2 is done. How are you doing? Are you as fast or slow as I am? Are you already at the 4th sketch, or are you just starting out? Tell me where are you at? How fast are you? Yes. So that we know, should we just slow down a bit, or because of course we want to take you with us through the journey, not just for the live stream, you know.
Exactly. Yeah, even if you're watching this in replay later, I hope you do the whole thing through. I think it's a quite fun exercise to do, and also a very important one if you want to dive into color. Because the interesting thing about color is that you don't know what will look good together until you really try it. There is, you know, theory, and it will help you a lot. It goes a long way, no mistake. But still, the best thing with color is trying stuff out. And the most surprising color combinations that you will like will come out of experimenting. So this is what we will do today. So some, you know, unexpected stuff might come out in the end. You might not like any of those you created, or you might love all of them.
Or if nothing else, it would give you material to think about. You know, it will feed your thoughts.
Yeah.
Maybe you're gonna just think about at the end, what is your favorite color combination, for example, or where would you use that kind of color combination, and that's also fine again.
So meanwhile, the live chat is discussing how to get 3 cats together. Well, we have got one from Radka, we got one from Tina, which already suggested photomontaging it, the other cats, so they have 2 joint forces with the cats there. And Suhar said we'll draw one in digital and just copied it. So actually we might actually come to 3 cats.
I mean, you know what? You're thinking like true landscape architects.
Well, landscape architects.
Because they are very technical and solution orientated. They would probably come to the same conclusion as you did and use Photoshop for doing so.
They might be influenced by us slowly. You know, us being background landscape architecture.
Could be.
So we have an interesting question here from Manish. Can you guys teach how to storyboard for movies? I think this is an interesting question.
We can.
I mean,
But should we?
well, I don't know. We can. Well, we've done storyboards actually because we do a lot of storyboards for our YouTube videos, especially for the more complex ones. And we've also done animation, small animation videos. So we had to use storyboards to think about it. We're not, I would say, masters at storyboarding, but we have done our share. And it's interesting to kind of practice storyboarding because it also lets you think about how to visually tell a story. You know, it's kind of doing like a comic strip. So I don't know if we're like most qualified still, to be honest, but we do use it, and maybe we will show some of our storyboards that we do for videos. You know, that might help you a bit.
But why do you need it? Are you in film or camera? What's your branch? Why would you have a use for something like that? That would be also very interesting to know.
Yeah. So okay, I think some people are drawing slower, some were at your pace, but it's also okay if you will still be, you know, you don't have to sketch out all 6 equally detailed. Maybe you can, you know, just finish up with a more rougher outline, and then we will fill it with color, and you can add some more details later when your colors are dry. So apparently there's this interesting effect, Sonia, that my t-shirt is being showed because it has these stripes. It confuses the camera.
And what does that mean?
I don't know.
Oh yeah, does it flash? Is it like almost? Yeah, it looks like
Oh my!
it flows. Oh my
my
god!
I have quite a psychedelic t-shirt on today.
You can also say if you would like that Gaspar changes his t-shirt. I think we can arrange that.
We can arrange that. If this is annoying you, if this t-shirt is annoying, tell me, and yeah, I can. I didn't expect this. Interesting.
Okay, so that's my last one. I improvised also a bit. I just added I was not exactly precise because I know that this exercise is more about color than anything else. And yeah, so it's more of a form than something precise. But I think for the sake of the exercise, it will suffice.
Yeah. I think for those of you who are working like with really strong opaque colors like gouache, this will look pretty cool. Even with colored pencils, this results can be amazing. So with watercolors, the colors will not be so intense, I guess, but all versions will look very interesting, at least.
Yeah.
There's one thing that I have to think about with watercolors. I mean, you will tell it now, I guess, but you have to wait for your surfaces to dry, so you might have to do more at the same time.
That's also true. Yeah, because if the surfaces touch and they are wet, then the color can bleed into other surfaces. I hope that you know what I mean by that. Otherwise, I can demonstrate. Okay, so I pre-soaked my watercolors. What I mean by that, I just took a big brush with a lot of water and I just put some water over all the colors. This is how my colors will be very pigmented and soft, so that I'm not mixing the color all the time.
This is a good tip. I never did that before.
I mean, I'm not sure that's a very good tip, but for me it works.
This is good.
Yeah, I try to keep the things simple for the sake of the workshop.
Okay.
Okay, so
we ready to color?
I think we are.
All
Are
right.
we ready to color?
Yeah.
Let us know. Are you there yet? And can we start? Or are you still in your outline phase?
If you're still outlining, don't worry. Maybe simplify it, or maybe just let the final one in the end so you will be able to finish it later. Because also, I think we're all waiting to try the colors finally.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so Marcus Paulini, I hope you're also drawing with us.
Exactly. So we have people ready. We have Lena drawing a house and trees. Since this episode is about colors, could you paint Gasper's t-shirt as well? So actually my t-shirt kind of, this is so crazy. Does it actually emit color now when this is wobbling around? It's quite an amazing effect. I see it also on this camera monitor, so I didn't know you see it as well. Okay, so how are you starting?
I started with the realistic one. So first of all, my colors are muted, literally. I mean, I bought a color palette, like a set of colors, which are very muted, which are very very like. Well, you can see the blue is not the real blue, and there's no very bright green. If I want to use it, I need to create it when by mixing those two colors. Yeah, I'm just gonna try to use this color palette that I have here, and maybe mix something in addition if I will, yeah, if I will find it useful. But maybe Gasper, maybe you can also give us a challenge.
Yeah, well, okay, so first of all, if you're doing the first one realistically, the rest of you should too. Try the first one realistically, but I will already say, limit yourself to 3 or 4 colors. Don't go too much into the details. This is already like the first part of the exercise, because we don't want to be painting the thing in like too many tones. We just want to be painting it in a few color tones, so the different variations will be more visible. So I'd say the first one could be realistic. Now Sonia has a challenge here because she has to wait that the adjacent surfaces dry. So I will say that you can actually start parallelly painting the second one, which all of you who are doing watercolors will also have to do. Because when you paint in one area, you have to wait till it dries.
And now I have many options, right?
Yes, you have many options for the second one.
Well, there's a question: how far can I push the yellow tone? If I say I want to keep the building yellow, because that's my thing. The building is also yellow, and I would like to keep it like it is. One way is that I would just use the color combinations that are offered here, right?
Well, yeah, maybe we can tell something
with
about
yellow,
that.
for example, right?
Yeah, so let's do that. Let's try that. I think this is a good idea. So what we have here basically is a color wheel. Just to say a couple of words about it. Most of you will probably have seen this already. For those of you who've been in our previous live streams, we did this color wheel in a previous live stream. If you don't have this yet, I suggest checking that video out and doing one of those. It teaches you a lot about color. It's amazing. We use it a lot. So you can pick a basic color on this color wheel. Let's Sonia just picked yellow. And then you have these different forms which show you different color combinations that you can do with yellow. So you would just take yellow as a base and then try all the different ones.
Yeah, so how to use the color wheel is that you see the points. These are the directions, or for example, your color of choosing. And for me, for example, my color of choosing was yellow, or probably in my case, it's something between yellow and orange, but let me just put it here so that it's a bit clearer. So we start with yellow, and we said we would like to use 3 colors. So that means that if I look at those triangular shapes here, if I would work or choose color according to my triangle here, I would create a split complementary tone with a violet blue and violet red. And we can try that out, for example. And then as the next one, we could use yellow, cyan blue, and magenta red. that's also another combination which is typical. That also those are also our three primary colors. And yeah, and then we can also add additional colors if we want, and then we have different harmonies. And maybe since we're working with yellow, or I am at least, I can expand that later on with that as well. What do you think?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so but maybe we could do another one of my buildings yellow, and then the next one we would do the surface yellow, or the trees, so that we also switch things up.
Yeah, I would encourage you to not only think about it realistically, but to really push yourself and just try it out differently. Do the yellow sky, or do the cat yellow.
The yellow is okay. I will do the trees here yellow.
Okay.
And then in the next one, I will do the sky yellow.
All right. So this is a good tip for everyone doing watercolor. Just take your first three and maybe just already paint in one color on all of them, because you will, in the meantime, the first one will dry, and then you can, continue on the first one.
And for this technique, as you can see, I'm not pre-wetting the surface, so I'm not using wet on wet technique, but wet on dry, because for this exercise the main purpose is just to color in the surfaces, and we don't want to do any transitions, or the main intention is just to color in the surfaces. So that's why this will suffice.
Yeah, you colored them in nicely. Looks like an evening golden hour.
Yeah, ooh.
The perfect hour for photography.
It's between 5 and 7, like when the sun sets, right?
And it's 1 hour after sunset and 1 hour before sunrise.
Then that's the blue hour, I heard. The golden hour is in the evening, and the blue hour is in the morning.
Oh, this is the two different ones?
Yeah.
Okay. And what about the yellow hour?
Well, the yellow hour is in the evening.
That's the golden one.
That's the golden one.
Okay.
Yeah.
But there is no
there's
green hour.
There's no green hour. No.
Okay.
Okay, so that's the first one. Okay, so I think the first one is pretty dry already. So let's just test the split complementary triad or harmony with yellow, violet blue, and violet red.
So the split complementary on your color wheel is the one marked with the yellow triangle, right? Okay.
Okay, so how do we mix those nice colors? That's the question. Okay, so I don't have any red in my set.
So that's already a creative challenge.
So I will probably need to use this magenta tone, which I have. And then I have two possibilities: to use the dark blue color, dark blue tone, or I can use this funny blue tone, which is, I don't know. Let me just try it out.
Yeah, you can put it so people can see what you're mixing, because I like your mixing methods, if it's possible to see.
You mean with the...
Is it visible? Yeah.
Yes.
Maybe.
Okay. So I think this is the tone that I will use. Yeah, I think they are nice. I mean, it's not the perfect connection, but I think it's more reddish. It's more red than blue. Okay, and now I can decide on a surface, right?
Yes, you can just basically pick any. So don't think about how it would usually be. You can kind of think about. I would just encourage you in this first step to try out and just paint in different surfaces, and you see how it looks like. Normally we wouldn't do that. We wouldn't take our time to do like 6 different images and try out different colors. But this time we can do it. It's going to be like kind of an Andy Warhol style of image collage, and Sonia just went for the floor and the trees with the violet. It's interesting.
Yeah, because I think it's very interesting also to just define what kind of surfaces I would like to color in. We have, for example, in my case, I have the architecture, so the building, and then I have the ground, I have the trees, and then I have the skies, which are basically 4 elements, not 3. So I need to just decide which of those will be a part of another. So in this case, that's why I combined that the trees and the ground will be the same color, and then in this one, which includes the architecture and uh, and the floor, I will use another color, and then use the third color to separate it from for the sky. Okay, so I have 2 colors, and then maybe I leave this one dry. I go to the next one, or is that too confusing?
No, well, this is the only way you can do it with watercolors, I think. But you have to then explain now what the next color combination that you're picking for the number 2 is.
Okay, so the next one that I'm picking for my colors are, so I have again, I'm gonna do the triadic color.
So this is with a pink triangle.
Harmony, yeah. The pink triangle, and here I have the yellow, the magenta blue, and the cyan blue. Magenta red and the cyan blue. And yeah, I'm gonna start working on this one next.
Mm-hmm.
And for this occasion, I'm gonna use this beautiful color. Look at this.
Nice. Also, in this one, you're deciding to paint the building and the floor the same color.
Yeah.
I think this is also interesting how you can basically lump different areas of your image together or separate them through color. You know, sometimes you want them to have the same color and sometimes not. And I would encourage you to try that out on yours as well. Sometimes you do your cat in one color, or sometimes do all 3 different cats. I mean, sometimes do all 3 different cats the same, or just do each cat differently.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still hoping that someone is drawing with us who just painted or drew 3 cats.
And just has 3 cats at home, right?
In general. Oh yeah, if someone is there with 3 cats at home, I know some people have said they have a cat, which is amazing already. 2 cats is next level, but 3 cats, man.
Congrats.
Paradise.
Okay. Okay. So this one, that's the next one.
All right.
And then
what's the third color scheme?
The third color scheme.
The one you did, the yellow. So you could do either now color scheme. You could do one that's not. You could do the tetradic, which is maybe this cyan square, or you could do this also this green square tetradic version.
For this one, you mean?
Yeah.
So if I would do the tetradic,
you would have 4 colors.
I would have 4 colors in my case, and then I could, for example, differentiate between the sky, the object, the floor or the ground, and the trees, vegetation.
Let's try that. So if you don't have a color wheel at home, Sonia is able to watch kind of read from her color wheel what to do, but you can totally just be free and try something out. Don't feel yourself limited by that color wheel or these color harmonies. We'll just tell you a bit more about what color harmonies are in a moment. But for now, don't feel frustrated. Just go with it. Just try out different colors that you think. Just try out different colors. They don't even have to look good together. Don't think about if they look together, because if you think, you will just come up with stuff that you already know. So try to push yourself into territories unknown before. A word to the color schemes. So what are color schemes actually, or color harmonies?
Are colors that work well together and emphasize each other, make each other even better, presentable. They just work together. They are like sisters, like how would you? There's like
they have this. No, this is well put, because the interesting thing is this: it's not like just 3 colors. When we say like a tetradic color scheme, it's not like yellow, cyan, and magenta, but you can actually turn that triangle on a color wheel, pointing in any direction, and any 3 colors which are equally distant to each other on the color wheel will work well together. This is a very interesting phenomena. This is the way it has to do something with the way light works and how we perceive color, but yeah, they kind of support each other in that combination and can evoke certain moods. Oh yeah, we have a nice term for that, which Tina suggests: color soulmates.
Ooh.
Beautiful. So yeah, those are color soulmates. And we have a couple of them. The first one would be like a monochromatic, where you only use one color and do different shades. Then you would have an adjacent color scheme, which Sonia hasn't tried out yet. Maybe she will in one of the next ones.
I would love to do it.
Adjacent is just the colors who lie next to each other on the color wheel. Then you have a complementary. These are just 2 colors lying across each other on the color wheel. And then we have this split complementary, triad, tetrad, and so on.
Okay, so for the last one, I have this one. Yeah. Okay, this will be crazy. Look at this.
This is wow. Oh, wow.
What?
Beautiful.
I mean,
unexpected. Like, would you ever draw this in this
no,
color?
Never,
No, never, right?
Never.
So this is that's why I like this exercise. Now we come to see slowly that it's so interesting to do, because you come up with color combinations that you wouldn't consider before.
Yeah, I mean it's amazing.
Yeah.
I would. It's not that I'm not brave enough to use this color, but I can also say it's not in my nature or in my culture to use this kind of color combinations.
Or maybe also not in your imagination.
Also, yeah, for sure.
Maybe we're just not imaginative.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's why I'm doing all those creative exercises.
Yeah, because it's very likely be because we, like I said, we limit ourselves to what we know. And for example, we have some favorite color combinations here. So Sukhar asked that the rest, and says yellow and violet is mine, and Tina likes olive green and brick red combo, and Ari has purple and navy. So we have interesting color combinations. I would say this will be a hard one. So I like orange and green a lot, and I like coral and teal. Those are like two different color combinations that I like. And I must admit that I use them a lot because kind of, they feel comfortable, and I have to move out of that comfort zone. But yeah, what are the color combinations that the rest of you like most? Even just 2 colors. Probably have a color combination of 2 colors that you like. It's interesting to hear that, because sometimes people pick complementary colors. Those are the ones who lie opposite to each other on the color wheel, and sometimes they're just adjacent colors or something else.
Okay, so I'm going in with the last color.
Wow.
For this one.
Insane. This is the triadic color scheme?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's the triadic one.
Okay, I have to do more of these exercises.
It's crazy, right?
Mm.
But it's so fun to use it on something that you already drawn. And especially because it's not abstract, because this exists in real life, you can... For me, that's very, very interesting to create or to color in, because that gives me crazy ideas, like, what kind of perspectives could you do with those kind of color combinations?
We've been shying away from color for too long.
Yeah.
I think we totally have to do more color stuff.
It's enough.
I mean, when I do some quick sketching around, I always do my, comfortable line drawings, kind of. I started doing more strong contrast black and white, I would say, recently, but I think I just have to, push myself into a color, and then maybe I'll notice, it's not for me. But then recently I have been trying to do that, and I like it. Kind of like it. So we got also one from Ineke, another color combination, red and brown. Beautiful. What would be your favorite color combination, Sonia?
I was thinking about while you were reading other people's favorite color combinations. I don't know. I really don't know, but right now, does it need to be any of the harmonies or
No,
just
no, no. It
color
can be
combinations?
whatever. Like one of my favorite ones, green and orange, is also not.
Yeah.
It's not any color harmony
Oh
basically.
man, I mean, I love color so much. I'm just shy to use it, but I like this one so much because they make each other,
Yellow and magenta.
yeah, so
They're
intense.
beautiful.
You know, it's not yellow, but it's golden. It's
Mhm.
like it has something, a bit of orange
It's not
or
this
even a
lemon
bit
yellow.
of
Yeah.
brown in it, and I think it's wonderful.
Mhm.
Okay, so and then I go back to this one, and
Mhm.
this one was split complementary. If I
Yeah.
if I think correctly, and that means that I need to mix something
Like
violet,
violet
blue.
blue.
So this one was violet red,
Mhm.
which means that the violet blue has more blue than red.
Mhm.
Okay,
In theory.
in theory.
In theory.
So I have here a very dark blue, and I don't know what I'm gonna do. Okay, I did something, and this is going to be a very dark, dark.
Oh wow. Night sky.
Oh, but look at this
Like midnight.
rich blue tone.
Beautiful.
I mean, how not to love color?
Yeah, one interesting color fact. I've read some interesting color facts, not in especially in preparation for today, but recently. So there is actually, first of all, we have a limited color spectrum as humans. We have just a certain amount of cones, of these color cones in our eyes. We have 3, and this lets us see only a certain spectrum. But there is a certain genetic mutation that only occurs in women.
Yeah.
I think that 10% of the women have that, where they have like a 4th color cone, which basically enables them a much greater array of colors, of perceiving a much greater array of colors. They perceive much richer color palette. And the thing is, you cannot tell unless you're like surgically examined if you have that, because you're not able to compare it to other people, because we don't know what other people see, unless you're colorblind. You have this test and you can see. But the interesting thing is that those women, they don't know that they have a much richer color palette in front of their eyes. So you just, you might be one of those. This could be.
Okay. But that's a very interesting fact.
Yeah.
I think we mentioned that in one of our videos as well, if I recall correctly, and I was very surprised.
Yeah.
And were we also thinking? Were we discussing why that's so?
Yeah, they have an extra color cone.
Yeah.
In their eyes.
Yeah, but didn't we talk about it that it's maybe because the women were the group of the society that were picking fruits, and that's why they needed to differentiate between the right
fruit and this is interesting. I mean, this is totally speculation, and I think it's just speculation on our part, but there's always like a biological reason, usually evolutionary, for some stuff like that. And it could be, men who tend to hunt maybe had to, we're totally speculating now, any biologist, cry out and correct us. But let's be crazy. So I guess, if women were like mostly gatherers, they really had to distinguish. It was an evolutionary advantage if you could distinguish ripe fruit from afar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. Okay, so I would do now something different. So I would like to go ahead, and I will not do the monochromatic yet. Maybe do it for the last. But since I'm like more into warm tones, I think I'm gonna go and just use those tones.
An adjacent color scheme.
Yeah, I'm gonna do the adjacent color scheme.
How many will you use in this adjacent color scheme?
4.
4? Okay.
4.
So adjacent is basically any 3, 4, or whatever colors on the color wheel. The only important thing is that they lie next to each other on the color wheel. It produces many beautiful different color combinations, and it's usually very calming. For example, if you're drawing nature realistically, landscapes, for example, you would use an adjacent color scheme in the area of greens and yellows, because this is what natural landscapes look like, right? You don't have like a magenta sticking out there, you know, unless it's ripe cherries, which is then obviously, you know, we immediately as humans see, and because it's food and a rich source of sugars.
Okay, so I think I need to help myself constantly by just, checking which colors do I have. Mm-hmm. So if this is my yellow and this is my magenta, mm-hmm. and I have those two here, mm-hmm. so this is my magenta and this is my yellow, I need to create all these colors by just mixing those two. Right?
Yeah.
Right. So I need to maybe there are two ways. One is that I start with the strongest, mm-hmm. and I fill now, for example, the trees in the strongest magenta color, mm-hmm. and then I mix something where I add a bit more yellow to create something similar to orange, and then I mix a bit more magenta to create something similar to red. That's something that I can do. Or I can just try mix anything and then I just, I think the better way is just to start with the darker one and then.
Mm-hmm. It's interesting, the color mixing process.
Yeah, you also need to be smart about it.
You have to be smart about many things in life.
Yeah.
Mixing colors being one of them. So we have a couple of more, favorite color schemes that I will read out. So Marianne has orange and strong violet, turquoise and peachy yellow. Okay, I have to imagine those.
Turquoise
and peachy yellow. Whoa, this looks nice. I can imagine this is really nice.
Millennium.
And orange and strong violet. Yeah, wow. Okay, this is also interesting. Beautiful. Beautiful color schemes. Lena has green and blue. I also like those. A very calming one, I would say. And then we have Suhar explaining a Zorn palette, which do you know what the Zorn palette is?
No.
Okay, so Zorn palette is bright red, yellow ochre, black, and white. And with that you can get many great colors. I didn't know that before. I will Google it quick to see what a Zorn palette is. Okay. Zorn palette is a palette which seems to work really well with portraits. You can create great skin tones with it. The whole array of different skin types, skin tones.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Zorn palette. Okay, I did not know that.
I saw this palette before, but I never know that.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you can use sets.
Yeah, exactly.
Just with those colors.
Yeah, thanks for letting us know. We're always eager to learn.
Yeah.
So if I didn't know that color palettes also have their special names. So if you know any other color palette, you can gladly tell us. Or, you can also tell us about your favorite color combination in the comments. Oh, wow. So it's quite a nuance between red and magenta. Eh?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's quite interesting. Mm-hmm. I must say that I mixed not enough color. And now I need to improvise. I need to do it fast.
Watercolors are kind of a fast medium to work with, right? I mean, you have to be patient at one side because they have to dry, or you have to be fast as long as it's wet.
Yeah, because you want always to work with effects.
Mm-hmm.
You want to work with everything that watercolors offer.
Mm-hmm.
So how the color transition between each other, and how they mix together, and that's why I like it so much.
So for those of you who are using watercolor today with us, or watching this, how does it go? How did it go? Could you mix different color tones? Could you mix these different color combinations? What did you come up with? How did you also do it like Sonia did, doing more at the same time? I'm interested how you actually work with watercolors.
Okay, so this is the another one.
Wow.
What kind of color schemes can I create in addition to that? I could also do, for example, this one, the tetradic, but not with rectangular, but with the square.
Oh yeah. Oh, you tried the rectangular before?
Yeah.
Okay, let's see what happens if you put the yellow on square.
Okay, so I would get this kind of blue-green, and I would get violet, and in addition to that, I would get orange-red, which is this this tone here. Beautiful.
Okay.
Beautiful.
Go for it. And the last one you can do a wild one or whatever you want.
That's something that has nothing to do with the ones that we just did.
A random one.
Ooh.
This is an interesting one, I think, because you don't know what will, come up.
Yeah, true. I have here also in a palette. I have some tones that probably the palettes are usually a color group that mix good together and sit nicely beside each other. So I think if I take something from my palette, it's gonna look good. But yeah, maybe we can also invent something. Maybe you can give me
Oh, you know what we'll
crazy.
do? What if we get suggestions from the community for 3 colors?
Oh yes.
Or
let's. Which one would you like to try?
okay, so do you want 3 or do you want 4?
4.
4. Okay, everyone, give us your 4 color combination, and or should they just say 1 color and we'll pick?
Yeah.
Okay, so write down one of the colors. It can be your favorite color or it can be a random one, and we'll pick now from the live chat 4 colors for Sonia to do her final image in. I'm interested what will come out. We do this because this will yield a completely random result, and we'll see how those 4 colors work together. So meanwhile, Tina's watercolors blended a bit. She said she did more at the same time, quite fast, and is already done. Tina is already done. Tina, you're never too speedy or too impatient. This was your pace today, and I think it's totally fine. Remember, you caught the train. You didn't miss the train today.
Yeah.
About the train reference for everyone watching this for the first time. So when we're really in a hurry and have to draw something to the end, Sonia has this method of telling her students that they have to imagine that they have to catch the train and it's leaving in 3 minutes. And if not, they're stranded in that desolated place. So it puts quite a pressure on you.
Yeah, but it's quite effective. I also noticed. So because usually we all like some sort of boundaries or at least limits, and when those are delivered, then you are much more productive and creative.
Okay, we already got a couple of color suggestions. Maybe some more will come in. And then I will just randomly pick 4. And it will be interesting what you will do out of them.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah?
Okay, so this is my final one. Man, this one is very, very dark. Those colors are so beautiful.
Which one you're liking most so far?
Which color harmony?
Yeah, which of those images that came out now? So crazy.
I don't know actually. Oh my god, I really like colors. I'm just.
You're overwhelmed with colors.
Yeah,
you really like color?
Sorry, but I am. For me, this is like a so interesting discovery. Just that. Why are we not using colors all the time? I mean, this is so because imagine what kind of potential does that have.
Sonia, maybe you're one of the people that has this mutation of the color cones. Yeah. What if you see color completely differently than I do? And I mean, one could also be colorblind. That doesn't mean you see the world black and white. It just means that you cannot distinguish between red and green, which is an interesting phenomena. Makes driving a bit more problematic. But apart from that, you totally adjust to it. I know people who are colorblind, and for them it's something normal.
Oh, I had a very interesting experience with a gentleman that once came to me in a store, and he was just like, "Excuse me, can you help me very fast?" And I was just like, "Yeah, okay. What would you like? How can I assist you?" And he was just like, I'm just picking nail polish for my wife, and can you tell me just which one is blue and which one is violet? Because for me those are all the same. I'm colorblind, and he had like 5 different tones, and that was everything between violet and blue, and I was just like, wow, it was like a huge revelation. Very funny.
I also had a friend when we did graphics for, we did graphics for plans. I work as a landscape architect, and we did this, floor plans, site plans, and then you do the green because it's like green stuff, like viewed from above, all the trees, grass, everything that one plans as a landscape architect. And for him, he always had to ask if the plant is green or if he accidentally mixed some red in there because he couldn't distinguish it.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah.
Imagine that. And he
Okay.
became a landscape architect. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so we've got here 6 or 7 suggestions, and now I will pick 4 for you out. So, first of all, I also make sure that you have it on your palette, so you can do that. Let's say, first of all, is ochre.
Which one would be ochre?
Ochre, you'll have to mix a bit of yellow with a little bit of magenta, I would say. So you have like a light brown, reddish brown.
Okay.
Ochre. I can Google ochre for you, so
Please,
you can see what ochre.
do. Because this color palette is very special. So
Ochre.
Okay.
Ochre. So it's kind of this yellowish.
Sandy.
Sand kind of.
Okay.
Something you're already using. Okay, then the second one will be brown.
Brown. Okay.
So I guess it's a darker ochre because we have 2 browns. So I guess brown is popular. Then we want to have a pink.
A pink.
Ochre, brown, pink.
Okay.
And let's see what we're gonna use for the last one.
Ochre, brown, pink,
and
go crazy.
Blue.
And blue.
Yes. Ochre, brown, pink, and blue. All right. Thanks everyone for your suggestions. So now we'll be using ochre, brown, pink, and blue, a kind of a random color
What
palette.
kind of blue? Just my choosing, or?
Yeah, well, what kind of blue should she use? Should she use light blue or dark blue? She has like 2 in her palette. So Marianne, meanwhile, is finished, and it went much better than her first try with watercolor. So what did you use for your second try, Marianne? Did you use colored pencils? I imagine it's much easier with colored pencils because you don't have to wait. And we also have a donation from Michelle, and I will send out a heart.
Thank you, Michelle.
Thanks a lot, and thanks for supporting us. We always appreciate it. Like I said, you can really support us by giving this video a thumbs up. This makes it more visible to more people, by leaving a comment under the video saying that you like color, maybe. Or by sharing it around with your friends or with people who might be interested. We will also actually, in the near future, we want to actually offer you more of our time, and we'll be announcing some interesting things, I guess, in the next weeks, right? So stay tuned for that. We're really excited to slowly, push this Linescapes project we do on another stage. But more about that in the next weeks. Meanwhile, a decision has been made.
What kind?
I think the light blue prevails.
Okay.
Yes, you should use the light blue.
Well.
So turquoise, light, azure blue, light blue. Yes, you should go with the light blue.
With the light blue, okay.
All right.
So, I will just mix something for blue.
Beautiful. This is, okay. So, if you haven't joined yet, I will post, it's in the video description, but you can also find it on Facebook. We have a group called Linescapers, and I'm sure all of you are already in there. And if someone is not in there, don't say it now, because you should have been in there, already for a long time. Because there is where you can post your stuff and you can get feedback from us and from others. And I really, really like how the group is developing. We're already more than 300 people. So you can take a snapshot, after we're finished today, take a snapshot of your work with your phone, send us to Facebook so we can see what you did, what kind of color combinations. Tell us which one was your favorite that emerged out of this. And yeah, let's see what kind of stuff we come up with. And if you don't have Facebook, obviously no problem. You can also tag us on Instagram and just share it there and we'll see it as well. Linescapes.drawing is our handle.
Okay, I'm finished.
You are finished?
Yes.
Okay, so we got this is the community determined color harmony. So we have the light blue, ochre, pink, which was hard to do, I guess, with your color palette. But it is kind of pink, yeah. And what was the last one? Brown.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay, what a result. Which one do you like best?
Of all those?
Yeah.
I seriously think this one.
This one?
Yeah.
I'm also surprised how well this one turned out.
Yeah.
Really, really amazing. I have to try, and now I'm totally inspired to try this one out.
Let me say like that. If you would imagine, we did a whole long video about color, and the heavier colors, the lighter colors, the cold tones and the warm tones and stuff like that. And imagine if I would use colors differently, in a sense that this violet would be used for the floor and the gold one would be used for the sky. This would have much similar effect to this one, because I'm sure that this one that we prefer here, we like it because the lighter or the brightest surface is presented like in the biggest sense, in the biggest surface, because it's also much lighter. And in this case, where the sky is dark, it works somehow very hard. And this is something to consider. So this is maybe next exercise could be about how to use color according to weight.
This is interesting, yeah. Well, I like the way this exercise turned out explicitly because of that, because it was so, we didn't have a predetermined theme. You just took yellow and then you took off with your color wheel. Maybe some of you just did random colors, and this was the point, to push yourself into unknown territory and even make some ugly color combinations. Most of them are probably ugly, something you wouldn't use, but at least you tried and you learned something, and okay, this doesn't look that well together, but maybe you found like two colors, maybe you found a new favorite color combination, and I think this is very, very valuable. Okay, so yeah, color weight and color intensities and stuff are, kind of advanced or more specific color theory things, because color is so rich, and we'll definitely keep doing videos on that topic. If you're interested, you can tell us if this is something you'd be interested in, or if there is a specific aspect of color that you want to try out, and yeah, we'd gladly look into it, because we're learning with you, basically.
Okay, so in last point, you can always take your pen and just start adding some details. If you noticed before, this is just our outline, and now you can still work on your architecture part, maybe add some texture in the foreground, and this is how you're gonna create a sketch that gets a bit more spatial depth. And this is also something that can be very helpful, even if you're doing that kind of color studies. Through that, I think you can learn a lot as well. So what works, what does not work, you have here 6 examples to try on and learn. So yeah, go and have fun.
Definitely. And maybe you will create something in the coming week, or you have something old and you can gladly send it to us for the next Feedback Friday, which will be the next Friday, June 26th. And the next Monday again, we're continuing on our creative journey, and we're still working out. Maybe in the next weeks we could just say that next week's more guests are coming, more experts on creativity are coming to the show, and we're gonna talk with them, and we're gonna try some stuff with them. We're gonna talk about creativity, and you will be able to ask them stuff.
Yeah.
So this will definitely be interesting. And then we started last week with our art studio tour with a normal edited video, and we're going to continue with these videos. So there is another video coming out this week.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I'm looking forward to it.
Me too.
Yeah. So I hope you enjoyed this live stream and that you learned something new about color, that you could decide on a few amazing looking color combinations, and I'm excited to see your work. Yeah.
Then we wish you a nice day. We're really glad that you were with us. Give this video a like, share it around, and we hope to see you in the next live stream or normal video.
That's right.
Yes.
So, till next time, you know what to do.
Keep on coloring. That's a new finish.
Keep on coloring.
Keep on coloring. Keep it colorful. We could come up with one
for every live stream.
Keep it colorful, people. That's a good one.
Yeah, it is.
Keep it colorful.
I like it as well.
Yeah, maybe we'll adapt that one.
Okay, my dear, have fun, experiment with color, and see you on our next live stream. Bye bye.
Bye, everybody.